AmpSquare.tv understands how important advertisement is and is proud to express that it's truly the only plugged-in internet television production company on the market. Amp2.tv live streams all their shows across all the major selling markets in the U.S. and abroad. Call them at 866-224-5422. The AmpSquare.tv library allows productions to be seen over and over again, making commercial platforms more usable. Call 866-224-5422. Toll free 866-224-5422. Amp2.tv, the first and only internet television network that's truly plugged in. 866-224-5422. That's AMP2.TV. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
You are listening to Connections, a place to learn about and celebrate creative approaches to healthcare, education, and wellness. Each week, we explore new ways that creativity can reach and connect individuals in all stages of health and wellness. Join us as our host, Bree Gordon, board-certified music therapist and managing partner with the Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute, interviews professionals, volunteers, and community members from healthcare and educational backgrounds. If you are at home or near a computer, you can join us via live streaming video at facebook.com/connections by Aria. We hope you enjoy the program and find new ways to bring the joy of creativity into your life and the lives of those you love. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are listening to and watching Connections. I'm your host, Bree Gordon, board-certified music therapist here in beautiful sunny South Florida with the Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute. If you're joining us for the first time, I'm so glad you found us, whether it's at 95.3 FM, 1470 AM on iHeartRadio, or on our Facebook Live channel. Every week, I have the great honor to sit down in the studio and talk to people from our community, and sometimes even beyond, about the incredible things that they're doing that are creative and a little bit outside the box to reach, connect, and comfort those in our community. They might be professionals, volunteers, caretakers, family members, whatever the role is. What I really love about this show is a chance to just kind of highlight some people that are doing amazing things that maybe you don't know about. Oftentimes, I don't know about. I get to learn so much each week, even if it's somebody I know. Last week, I had a good friend of mine in the studio, Sue Nearing, talking about her new educational program, talking about integrative therapies, holistic therapies. And I learned so much about her journey since we had worked together years ago and how she was applying the different integrative therapies to helping addictions, individuals who are going through recovery, individuals of all walks of life. And so that being said, it's not just the individuals in the studio, my guests that I get to talk to and learn from, but I love to learn from my audience as well. So if you are safely home, not driving, not behind the wheel of a car, sitting at home, I preach on this every week, then you are allowed to go to our Facebook Live page and check out the live video there. I love to read the comments between breaks, any comments, questions that you may have. You can also feel free to call into the show, 888-565-1470. Again, I love learning from you. There's been so many cool things that have come from being a part of the show that extend beyond the studio. For example, we've had an individual who runs an adventure therapy group. And she had a question she wanted someone to call in and answer. Actually, she was asking to call in if you had a team that you really wanted to give something back to. You just had an amazing team that worked so hard. You wanted to recognize their work. To call in, tell us why your team is so special. So a woman did, who runs an independent small ALF down in Broward. And she won this amazing 5-hour adventure course. And a couple weeks later, I got a picture from it to see the connection made between this team who really just needed to get out of the building for a little while and reconnect with each other and reconnect with nature, facilitated by the guest from weeks ago. I love seeing that. That just brings new meaning to the word connections, which is what this is all about, connecting our guests with the community and connecting our community with the community, which is really cool. So again, if you are at home, please do check out our Facebook Live page. If you miss any portion of this conversation or past conversations, you can check them all out there. They are archived there on the page. So feel free to step away, enjoy your dinner with your family, and come back afterwards and check out anything that you missed. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Whether you were traveling or staying home, I hope it was safe. I hope that you had a great time, again, connecting with family and friends. If you were on the road, I don't know how bad it was this year, but I kind of sat this one out this year. I've done the whole road travel thing, Thanksgiving time. I know that it is crazy, crazy busy. I flew back from a conference the Sunday before, and it was already packed out. So hopefully these next few weeks, ha ha ha, we'll get back to normal and calm down. I laugh because it's going to be December on Friday. That is crazy to me. I mean, it's just this year has flown by. And what I think it is, even 10 years being down here, 10 years being away from any semblance of seasons, I'm still not used to that. I'm still not used to not having the leaves to change to let me know we're entering a new season, or the snow to fall. I mean, it was almost bizarre to me to be watching football last night and there's like snow on the ground and wind blowing. I'm like, but it's so beautiful outside, isn't it? Summer everywhere? No, I'm from Western New York. Of course I know it's not summer everywhere, but I'm so removed from that now. It is really hard to kind of get into this holiday season at times. I was talking to my clients a lot about that today, my patients in the memory care. If it's your first time listening, as my work as a music therapist, I do work specifically with those with neurodegenerative disorders, Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's. So on Monday, I have my memory care and Parkinson's groups, and we talked about this today. Well, many of my group members are from up north, as many people in South Florida are. So I talked about what are some different ways that we can change our environment here to help us kind of get into the holiday spirit and know that the seasons are changing and the holidays are coming. Because if we don't, everything just kind of goes really, really fast and we miss it all, right? If we're not taking that time to make those moments special. So if you talk about the holidays in general and why they're special, well, what is it that makes them special? It's not really that there's snow outside, so we don't miss the whole thing if we don't have the snow. It's about those special moments, those special memories that we have with family, with friends, with maybe making new friends. How can we help create that? And so we talked about decorating. If it's your tradition to maybe put a tree up or to put lights on the house or put a wreath on the door, what that looks like. A lot of my clients, are from New York City area, so we talked about what does it look like to walk through Manhattan this time of year and to see the decorations up, and how can we kind of facilitate some of that tradition in your own space. Talked about the smells, of home cooking and baked goods and how that can kind of give you that homey feeling for the holidays. Taking a moment to reconnect with a family member or a friend that perhaps you haven't spoken to in a while, and talk about the year. We've had a whole year pass now. We're almost at the end of 2017 already. What happened during this year? What was good? What was bad? What could you maybe need a little help with going forward? Or what did you really like about this year that you want to continue with? Connect with people. Share that with them. And of course, what could you hear that would put you in the holiday spirit? And I've yet to meet someone, and I've been in this job a long time, and I've yet to meet someone who says, you know what, I hate holiday music. Oh, that cheerful jingle bell music, I can't stand it. It may not be your favorite, but it is really rare to find someone who just can't stand it. I mean, I think it's because we only hear it once a year that it becomes special. I don't know that I could do Frosty or, Rudolph every day of the year. Probably not. But one day of year or 1 month out of the year, it's kind of a special thing that whether it's your favorite genre or not, people look forward to, and it brings these memories back. Here's what's so cool about holiday music. We're talking about working with seniors, and again, if this is your profession or you're a personal caregiver, it really doesn't matter your age or where you come from or what your background is. Everyone kind of grows up listening to the same holiday music, which is so rare to me, and it's kind of, honestly, the only other genre I can think of like that is the patriotic songs we were talking about before. Everyone kind of knows the same patriotic songs no matter your age. But everyone kind of grew up listening to the same crooners who made these holiday songs so popular. So if you think about it, our next generation coming up, when else would they hear Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby and Burl Ives and Gene Autry? They're not going to be on the radio, every other day of the year. They're not going to be in the supermarket. They're not going to be through the mall, but they are holiday time. So it's really a cool tradition that keeps those classics alive. And so I've talked to my seniors about that today and what that means to them, that this is music that they can share, not only with their children, with their grandchildren as well, that everybody kind of gravitates to this music. And I asked them, how does that make you feel? And one woman said, makes me feel like I can't not sing. I have to sing. It's almost mandated to sing and move to this music. And again, that just creates a shared experience, a positive shared experience throughout the generations, which if you haven't listened before, you will learn very quickly that is a huge passion of mine, that intergenerational connection. What can we do? How can we look outside the box to connect our generations? And surprise, music is almost always the answer. I know. It's like a broken record. Ooh, that was another good music pun. I do that a lot. So, if this is your first time, don't be confused by what I do next. Every week, I do try to end with some kind of sing-along at the end of my monologue, just to bring a little joy and just to bring something thematic. So, talking about creating this winterscape. When we're here in South Florida and we look outside and we're lucky. I mean, I am literally in a tank top dress right now. This is not an illusion. It is that warm outside. But it is going to be December, and we are putting the trees up and we are putting the lights up. And so we need to create that sense of winter wonderland. So I hope you enjoy this, one of my favorite holiday songs and one of my favorite holiday movies, actually, Irving Berlin's White Christmas. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. Stick around, we have an amazing show planned for you today. Some awesome resources right here in our community, specifically for the veterans in our community, and some amazing arts programs that are going along with it, happening in December to support those efforts. Stick around, we'll be right back. Are you a music therapist or part of the music therapy community? If so, we're excited to announce Aria. Aria is a mobile app that provides tools, resources, and community for today's modern music therapist. You can plan, implement, and share music therapy interventions with the community, keep track of your schedule and contacts, and learn from other members in our community section. Best of all, Aria is free. Visit arianow.com to get started today. The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, we use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com, engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561-747-9944. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections, If you'd like to join the conversation, the toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show. Much for joining us tonight. You are listening to and watching Connections. I'm your host, Bree Gordon. I'm so excited to introduce to you today from Veteran Benefits America Foundation, Christy Knight and Patrick Sander. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely, my pleasure. So I don't know if you saw the little Facebook post that I had put up earlier, but in the spirit of our holidays here and holiday music, as you know I'm a big fan of, I had to make a little nod to The Sound of Music, my all-time favorite movie. Oh my gosh. And I said, supporting our veterans in our community, live music, and promoting volunteerism. These are a few of my favorite things. I'm so glad to have you guys on tonight. What you do is so important in the community. I'm going to give you a chance to explain, obviously, what you're doing, but I want to talk really quickly about how I love being in this space and meeting people. I believe people come into our lives for a reason, and we just had a pretty cool interaction. Just even walking into this room.
Yes.
Just having an opportunity. We're all kind of family here, those that do the shows. And so ran into one of the other hosts of the show out there who just asked, you know, what you guys do. And your service was something that was going to greatly be beneficial to her and her family, and something that she didn't even really fully understand. And it just happens in a moment, right? So again, I'm so glad to have this opportunity to have you share with beyond just a chance elevator moment what it is that you do. And so, Christy, if you want to kind of take us back a little bit about yourself and what kind of led you to this place and the work that you do.
I guess what led me is because I come from a huge veteran family.
Okay.
My dad, my stepdad are both retired Navy. I still have family in the service. I have one who's he just left Kuwait and went to Jordan. Oh. So it's a huge family, and done a lot of volunteering in the past, with kids charities, with animals, of course. I mean, that's always a given. But it was always like you're out asking for money from people.
Yeah.
So this got brought to us where we could actually go and help our senior veterans. And it's amazing because once we started doing this, seeing that this is a benefit that's been around since the 50s.
Okay.
And most people either have misinformation on it or they don't even know that it's out there and available for them. The challenge is you have a lot of the veterans who went in and served during the war. They did their 4 years, got out, never went back to the VA for anything. So, of course, there's no communication with the social workers at the VA hospital or the Department of Veteran Affairs to tell them now that they're older and need this help, that there is money there, there's a pension possibly available for them.
Is this something that came to your attention because it was something that your family actually had benefit from, or did you come to it through research of for your own personal interest?
No, we actually had somebody come to us because they knew we did volunteering and they knew the connection with with the family and the veteran.
Okay.
And just kind of explained what the benefit was, and it was something we were interested in getting involving, trying to work with veterans and get it out there. And once we researched it, we said, this is really. It's amazing.
Yeah.
This is there. And then, I mean, my family fortunately didn't need my dad is gone, but my stepdad retired as a lifer, so we'll never get benefits for him. But we actually got them for Patrick for his mom.
Okay.
Yep.
Didn't know about it when his dad was alive, which could have been tremendous help because he suffered with dementia. So found out about it a little too late for that. But now his mom has them, and which is a tremendous help for her.
And so, having been on both sides of that personally, Patrick, what do you see personally as the benefit of having found that out and being able to take advantage of that?
Well, it gives people a lot more freedom. It allows them to keep their independence. Like with my mom, she's able to stay home and actually have somebody in the house helping her out, which is fantastic. It would have been great for my dad because my mom was the care provider, and for 7 years, he just got worse. And she said we didn't know anything about the benefits. We even went to the VA and asked, and they said that there was no benefits available. So it was interesting that they did not have the information on it. And it's partially because there's service-connected benefits and there's non-service connected. And this is a non-service connected benefit. So it means that they were not injured in service and they've just turned 65 years of age and now need to have somebody either help them in their house, go to assisted living or skilled nursing. And there's these benefits for those guys or their spouses or even the widow of the veteran. That's the biggest issue. Like my mom is the widow.
Right.
Yeah. So she goes through and is receiving $1,152 a month tax-free to help out with some of those expenses.
Wow. That's amazing. So how do people find out about these services, and how are how can we get in touch? And we're going to talk about this a lot through the show, but what does that process even look like?
Most of the clients that we talk to that we end up speaking with either come from assisted living communities,
Okay.
home health companies are big. Area on Aging knows usually a lot about it. The different Alzheimer's, Parkinson, the different other outreach programs are out there. Some of the elder law attorneys who deal with it, they don't want to deal specifically with the paperwork, so they'll refer them to us because it's just we have it down to a science on how to get it done and get through the process relatively quickly.
Yeah.
So they're doing the Medicaid planning, so they send some of that to us, but it's just a lot of it's word of mouth.
Sure.
We do seminars in the communities. There's been some stuff in the news about it, but then like with anything, there's the good and the bad that goes along with that,
Sure.
depending on who's doing the reporting. But most of it is just for us is word of mouth and just sharing it, like I said, out in the community, the different sections of the community that deal, in that older
Right.
population.
And we've been doing it for 14 years. So we have a lot of veterans, as I said, that go ahead and refer because they now understand what it did for them and how it works.
Yeah.
So they're now telling a lot of other people about it. And the foundation's actually gone through and raised how much for?
Over the years, we've actually gotten the VA to pay or disperse from the awards being granted over 90 million, more than that. We try to calculate the numbers
Wow.
over the years, so it's substantial.
So is this a branch that you represent of that's local of a much larger? That's just local.
No,
Just-
we're
that's just
local, but
us.
we can
Wow.
actually work any place in the world. It doesn't
Okay.
matter where
Yeah.
the veteran is. And
And-
we've actually done overseas. We've done Hawaii. We've done a lot of different
Yeah.
areas.
It's a federal program, so it can be. I mean, it doesn't matter where you live. As long as you meet their serving criteria and the other criteria that goes along with it, you can qualify and apply.
And I love what you said too, Patrick, about having that longevity in the community and the experience and learning that comes along with that, and that builds trust and rapport, especially when we're talking about working with individuals 65 and older. That trust rapport is a really big deal. That the relationship is a really big deal. And also that I found in my work is that there's a lot of pride associated with this. And there's a lot of things that challenge that pride as we age and we lose independence and we lose some of that control and choice making. How is that presented a challenge, but also how do you see this being rewarding for that individual when you are able to meet those needs despite their, willingness to really accept that help?
I think one of the biggest things we see is, the parents sometimes are difficult because they're that generation. They don't want to give up the control.
Sure.
But then when they finally do, I think the biggest reward is seeing the kids who are now have been struggling to try and figure out how to deal with everything for mom and dad, how to get mom and dad comfortable with the transitions. The people that we've partnered with to help work through those, along with the things that we do, I think it's just seeing. It's almost like a sigh of relief, and you see like the shoulders relax a little bit, knowing that okay, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and especially even with the parents, because they're worried that now they're going to be a burden to their kids,
Yeah.
and to know that this is out there and that there are all these other resources that they can use that's going to help make things easier and just like I said, give that little bit of breath.
Yeah.
We
know?
had 3 children, a UPS driver, a police officer in New York, and I forgot what the son did out in California. All 3 of them that were giving money to their mother to try and help out with her care. And so there happened to be our UPS guy that came to the office, and he said, what is this? Because my dad was a veteran. So we started explaining to him, and with getting his mom these benefits and some other things that the state will go through and do, the kids were able to not give the money out of their own pocket to take care of mom and dad. And the interesting thing was the UPS driver's wife had told him, you're giving more money to your mom than we're putting in our kids' college funds. And we need to change that or she may hit the road. It was kind of interesting that there's that much stress on these couples trying to take care of their parents. So that's a really big deal to go through and help them get that money so that stress goes away.
Absolutely. This is it's nothing new, but I think we are at a really interesting point in healthcare, particularly being in South Florida, where this is such a large need. You mentioned the Area on Aging, which I'm involved with, and our big shift, as well as the AARP shift this year, is to focus on caregivers. Because we're seeing, I don't know the stats for all caregivers, but I know Alzheimer's specific, 60% of caregivers are passing away before the loved one that they're caring for.
Yeah, the stress.
It is. It's the whole body. It's mind, body. It's everything that's connected. It's the jobs that they have to give up you know, to be a full-time caregiver, and so financial strain. There's so many layers to this. So what is some of the feedback that you get from, I know you started to talk about what the impact this had on that one particular family, that you get from caregivers just knowing that this is an option?
Like I said, I think it's a sigh. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's not it doesn't take care of all of the expenses, but it puts a dent in it.
Sure.
You know, so, and I think it also is the fact that now maybe they couldn't have afforded to have an outside caregiver come in, you know, for a couple days a week or 3 days a week, whatever. So, because usually the spouse is the caregiver or the children are now stepping in to be caregivers. So it gives everybody, I think, a little bit of a breath.
Yeah.
And it also gives them, I think, the opportunity to have somebody who's in the field who deals with it on a day-to-day basis and can tell them, okay, well, this change is normal.
Yeah.
You know, you're not crazy thinking that they don't know what they're doing, and you know, this
Yeah.
is normal. This
Yeah.
is the natural progression of things, and to give them direction and help to how to deal with it.
I think that
'Cause it's
validation is huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
I mean, that's in any case. If you
You
know
know?
you're not alone and you're not
Right.
the only person going through this, that's a great support. And speaking of that, is there any kind of network within this that allows, you know, the veterans or the families of to kind of connect with one another as a support? Or, I mean, is it?
You know, we've gone through and asked families to write letters, and if they were willing to accept phone calls. Because what's interesting is a lot of times we get calls from people saying that this is too good to be true, or this worked, you know, last year, but it won't be this year.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
we asked them to go through and do that. I have, in a lot of ways, connected a lot of the individuals who maybe have dementia spouses to go through and try work with each other. Like maybe, let's say the wives both have it. So I hook the couples together that the one husband takes both wives one day, and then the other husband takes both wives the next day. So we've tried to do some of that, but it's sometimes difficult.
Yeah.
well, and it's a challenge because a lot of the family members aren't local.
Right.
So you
that
have
was my
so the
next
families.
question.
I mean,
Yep.
so the families are spread out throughout the country,
Yeah.
even though the parents are here. So we're dealing with families all across the country. But in the same point, you can still give them, okay, well, there's these different organizations. You know, even though we can't network you,
Yep.
you can reach out to Alzheimer's, to you
Yep.
know, Parkinson's, whatever the specific
Those support groups.
situation is. Right, there's our support groups out there, and use them. Don't sit there and try and flounder and be on your own,
Yeah.
thinking I'm the only one going through this.
Absolutely. And
You
think just
know?
having those resources on hand, which I'm sure you guys do, and I know you're out in the community, I'm sure you both are, you know, speaking at different places, being a part of, you know, the Partnership for Aging or whatever the networking group is. I mean, we're so much stronger when we're connected as a community.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I've met individuals that, even though they've lived here for years or wherever their location is, and they say, well, I just went to one thing, I got one card for the Alzheimer's Association or whatever, and it changed my life knowing that that was there. And just kind of just having that information available, you know, like we were talking about before, we really live in a resource rich area. And I think that it's almost kind of our responsibility being out there and being these senior advocates to just have all these things on hand, which
Right.
it sounds like you guys are doing, you know, just within the veteran world and even beyond that. We have so many challenges being down here, even though obviously we have so many seniors in need. I think families being spread out
apart.
it is huge. I mean, where I grew up, you know, in small farm town, upstate New York, I mean, I went to the same high school. My parents,
Everybody
grandparents,
knows
everybody.
Everybody knows
yes.
it. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can do
we all grew up
nothing.
on the same street, literally the whole family. You know, it's so different.
Yeah.
You almost didn't really need all those services. You were the support system.
Yeah,
right.
You know?
Well, you had the community where community
Exactly.
now is so spread out.
Yep.
You know?
For sure.
It's
And that's the biggest challenge, that most families don't know anything about this. Even the
Yeah.
veterans, as she said, you know, it's been around since the 50s and people don't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to share the information. So a lot of times, you know, unless they go to an assisted living and they're looking, or independent living, and the place tells them about the benefit, they just don't know how to find these resources. So even
Yeah.
though we are so rich in it, it's brand new to somebody. Like
Yep.
if you all of a sudden your mom has issues, you need to do something with her. It's now something new in your life, and you have your kids and your life you're trying
Right,
to deal with.
right.
Now dealing with her, and that's where a big challenge comes. So it's trying to get this information out to
Yeah.
people to know that these resources are there.
That's perfect. And the onset of that stress, you know, on the onset of that diagnosis or that change, whatever it is, that becomes so consuming. It's hard to say, here's what I need to do, here's check off my list, especially if you are that sandwich generation. You got to get the
Right.
kids to school no matter what that doctor's appointment said.
Yep.
It's not weakness to take advantage
no,
of all of
and
these
the
supports.
interesting thing we see is, I mean, because there slowly is a transition from the children and the parents to where the parents are now becoming the children and the children are now becoming
Sure.
the parental. So it's also having them adjust and understand that, it's not, how do I want to say this? I mean, it's a tough change because
Yeah.
you're used to being the child.
Right.
And, your mom and dad are the ones who've been there to take care of you. And now that shift,
It's a huge shift.
and it's tough.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot involved here.
Yes.
And we're not meant to do it alone.
No.
So not only within the senior health care or this kind of area of community networking, you guys have extended beyond that, and you're like, hey, why don't I get this country music star involved and see what this can do. So how's that for a cliffhanger for a commercial break, right? So your net has been spread far. You've got an amazing event coming up planned to specifically help these seniors in our community, to help these veterans. We're going to talk about right after this quick commercial break. Are you a music therapist or part of the music therapy community? If so, we're excited to announce Aria. Aria is a mobile app that provides tools, resources, and community for today's modern music therapist. You can plan, implement, and share music therapy interventions with the community, keep track of your schedule and contacts, and learn from other members in our community section. Best of all, Aria is free. Visit arianow.com to get started today. The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, we use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com. Engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561-747-9944. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. If you'd like to join the conversation, the toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are listening to and watching Connections. I'm your host, Bree Gordon. I'm sitting here with Christy Knight and Patrick Sander. We're talking about Veteran Benefits America Foundation. And we realized a half hour into the show, we really never told you what that means or what those benefits are. We just got really excited about all the different ways to help people. And you're sitting there going, cool, what is this again? So we're going to rewind slightly. This is what I do. Remember I talked about that right brain creative thing? Thank you for your patience in that.
Oh,
so it's kind of fun. I say, you can come back and watch the show later. Maybe somebody will watch this portion now, then rewind.
There you go.
Later, and this is all on
Smooth.
purpose.
Yes, there you
It's
go.
all
There you go.
smooth. I love it. So Christy, take us back. What are the actual benefits?
So the pension benefit that we primarily focus on is called the VA's Aid and Attendance Pension Benefit. And what it is geared towards is our senior wartime veterans.
Okay.
So you had to be over 65. We do have a few that are under 65, but you have to be 100% Social Security disabled to qualify. You have to serve 90 days active duty. 1 day had to be during a declared active war.
Okay.
Didn't actually have to see war. You could have been sitting at a desk in Topeka, Kansas.
But it had to be.
But it
going
had to be
on.
during a
Okay.
declared active war. And it's geared for needing somebody who needs assistance either in their home for an aid, skilled nursing, or assisted living.
Okay.
So it's a pension benefit that as long as you meet the VA's criteria that you can qualify for. It is the only pension other than if your spouse died from either as a prisoner of war or a service-related injury that is available for a surviving spouse.
Okay.
So it's huge.
Yeah.
So it's for a veteran. If the veteran's spouse is sick and he's still alive, we can still apply. Or if it's for surviving spouse. I mean, there's criteria you have to meet, but that's the basics of it.
Okay.
And it's a decent benefit for a couple, for the veteran having challenges, is $2,126 a month tax-free.
All right. Wow.
If excuse me, if it's the spouse that's sick, not the veteran, it's $1,408. If it is the single veteran, it's $1,794. And if it's the widow of a veteran, it's $1,152, like my mom.
Okay.
And they will be getting a 2% raise this year,
Yes,
right along with Social
yes.
Security.
Oh wow. Okay, that's awesome.
So
It's so nice to hear about a raise happening. And
I mean,
not
they got a
being
whole
taken away.
0.3 last year, but we're getting 2% this year.
2%. Hey,
Yes.
Yay.
anything that is an increase to
Increase.
support services, I'll tell
That's
you
good.
what,
Yes.
that's something to celebrate. And
Yeah.
obviously, your background, being as financial advisor, I'm sure that adds to this. Again, we're talking about building that trust and that rapport and that longevity in the field. And so, tell me what that interaction is like when you, if you do share that with the veteran or the family, and how you're able to support through that.
So for 25 years, I've been licensed to do investments. And it was kind of interesting is that we got into doing the VA benefits like 16 years ago. And I basically kind of stopped doing the investment and just really worked on the VA. I just loved it. It was a passion, and that's what we went through and really did a lot of. But through the years, we've seen how they kind of go together. So I've now basically created my pinwheel to just work with individuals who are 55 and older to understand how to make sure they don't run out of money before they run out of time.
Yeah.
And there's different investments that you can do that could actually stop you from getting VA benefits or stop you from getting Medicaid. So I make sure that clients understand those different avenues and make sure they go the right way. So a lot of times people have a financial advisor, they have a broker, but we're a little bit different. Yes, we do manage money. Yes, we do insurance lines, but our goal is to educate you on the opportunities you have through the government to keep that independence. If your long-term care is there, that's great, but there's also government nets that can help out.
Yeah, we can't be knocking long-term care insurance here.
This
Come
is
on.
great.
Yeah,
No,
We
no.
have
no, long-term
No,
care
it's
is
amazing.
no, it's
great.
fantastic. It's just a lot of people don't have
See,
it.
honey, every time I try to give you a shout out.
No, it's amazing. It's
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's a challenge if you're older and you can't qualify any longer.
yeah.
That there has to be other avenues to follow.
Right. And if you can take your investments that you have and put them in the right situation so it doesn't disqualify you
Yeah.
from other areas, it just adds to what you already have if you have something, or it sometimes becomes a safety net if you don't have anything.
Right.
So a lot of people we talk to, they're uninsurable or they can't afford it. Those are the type of situations. So as far as a financial advisor, a lot of them are like, oh, I work with, $1 million plus. We'll work with anybody. I mean,
Yeah.
our goal is to get people to understand how it works and to move forward that route.
How do you both see this? I mean, because of advances in medicine and wellness programs and all this shift in healthcare that people are, because you brought up a really good point, making your money last as long as you do. I mean, I don't think
Right.
that, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, this was such a concern.
Right, we're living a lot longer. I mean, that's
yeah.
the challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you see that? I mean, do you see that it's got to emotionally strain on people as they're thinking, I didn't plan for this,
Yeah, I mean, it's the same. Money challenges are always there. It's the same throughout the generations. But yes, you're right. We have healthcare has gotten so much better. 911 system has gotten, so much better. So it's not like you fell asleep in your chair and nobody knew
Right.
what was going on.
Right.
Yeah.
They're finding so many more meds and cures. So yeah, it's life expectancy is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for
Pensions
the insurance
aren't
industry,
there.
they just raise all the rates to 125,
Right.
age 125. So they know people are going to be living a lot longer, and so they're seeing it. People are still retiring at 65 and 70, and now they're going all these years.
Yeah.
So you got to be really smart with the money that you have. And get
Absolutely.
to go through and do the right thing.
Absolutely. All right, so before the commercial break, I had teased a little something about this pretty amazing event you guys got coming up. Talk a little bit about the concert and also just why you thought this would be a good way to kind of wrap up the year and bring attention to the foundation and really use it to raise money to support the veterans in our community.
Do you want to cover it?
Go for it.
All right. So we go through and try to do a large event of some sort to raise proceeds to run the next year. And that's really what it's all about. This year we decided to go through and invite Josh Turner to come down to South Florida. He's very, very big with the veterans. So we have two concerts, actually. One is going to be here in West Palm Beach at the ballparks of Palm Beach.
Okay.
And the other one is going to be at Six Ben's Harley Davidson over in Fort Myers.
Awesome.
So December 16th is here. Also, guest with him is going to be 1,000 Horses.
Brooke
and
Eden.
Brooke Eden. And then we're going to do the same show over in Fort Myers on December 17th.
Awesome.
It's all military based. So we're going to have the Marines, we're going to have the Army out there with a lot of their equipment. Kids can come out and play and all that stuff. I think they have a Hummer set up like
You'll
a
be out
video
there.
game.
Yeah,
Exactly.
kids and me. It's fine.
Yeah. There's no age limit to that kid
Perfect.
thing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's important.
Kind of unique for a concert. We're going to actually do the national anthem. We're going to present colors. So it should be a really, really great evening, and the proceeds go to veterans benefits,
Yeah, portions,
so
yeah.
that we can go through and continue to help with all the veterans. Because one of the biggest things, we do not charge anything to do what we do. Okay, so I do want to come back to that later in that
Please
segment
do,
because
yeah.
there's a lot of things that are going on right now in this industry where people are kind of being taken advantage of, and so I'd like to discuss a little bit of that but we'll go through and talk more about the concert. So she's got some information on Josh Turner.
Well, I mean, if you know country music, you usually know who he is. But he's very big with the veterans. He's a huge multi-award nominee. I mean, ACM, CMAs, I wrote them all down because there's like so many of them. He actually has been nominated for a Grammy.
Wonderful.
He actually won the Inspirational Country Music Award several years ago. So, I mean, he's got the heart, for the for the veterans, and we're hoping it's gonna be a great concert. We're planning on it being a great concert. I think it's a great way to awareness for not only our senior veterans, but for the younger veterans that are still out there serving.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people doing a lot, giving a lot of their time to allow us to sit here and do this.
Yeah.
And I think they all need to be appreciated and thanked.
Absolutely. And I think that's another great intergenerational connection, too.
Yes.
If it's bringing young people because of names like Josh Turner out, and then also being that awareness being brought to, hey, there are a lot of seniors in our community that are in need of these services. I mean, that's just going to, awareness is so huge, right? Do you know if he has a personal connection, what his personal story is? Or
I don't know if he does or not, because we actually have partnered with WIRK and with Morgan Renee Productions.
Okay.
We're putting it all together. I've done a little research on him, but we've been so crazy that I haven't done as much as I should.
That's right. That can be the homework for the audience.
Yeah,
Go home and find out.
There
And
you
the
go.
first person to write on the Facebook Live channel what Josh Turner's connection is, you get a hug from me. I don't know, but we'll be excited.
Well, we can maybe work out tickets. See? There you go.
Okay. Is this really, because we're
Yeah,
live on the
yeah,
air.
yeah.
If you comment on the Facebook Live video with a connection, if you can find a connection with Josh Turner and this, then we'll call into the show or write in. We'll get in touch with you about tickets. Oh, thank you
There you
guys.
go.
That's
Perfect,
awesome.
Perfect. And as far as tickets, you can go to vetmenamerica.org
Okay.
and you get tickets there, or I believe on your site
yours,
also.
Yeah, I shared on the Facebook page, Connections by Aria Facebook page, the link, and I think that has a link to the, is it an Eventbrite?
Well, Eventbrite is over on the West Coast. Here is tickets.com.
Tickets.
Okay, cool. So
but
I
if
think
you-
they're both
right.
in that Facebook event.
Right, and if you
Yes.
go on our Facebook page for Veteran Benefits America, there's a link in there as well to connect through to either whichever concert you want to go to. And you can also share it, like our page. The more people
Yes.
that like it, the more we can get information out there.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
Please,
so-
everybody like it and share it. And if you're a small group and you're not having any ideas for I can't talk.
For like a holiday party.
Uh-huh.
Maybe this would be something to go through and do is buy tickets for your employees.
Oh,
and
yeah, I
come out
love
to the
that.
holiday party with us.
Yeah, if you only have like 4 or 5 people on your staff, you're not going to have a huge party.
Right.
Come
Go
on
out and
out.
enjoy the concert.
Oh,
Come
that's a
hang
great
out.
Time with
idea.
us.
What
Yeah.
is the ticket price?
There's VA. The tickets are a little bit different to the shows because the show venue is a little bit different.
Okay.
So here in West Palm, it's $115 for the VIP tickets down on the floor in the seats, and then they start at $70 and go up to I think to $40
down,
in the bleachers. But it's gonna be a smaller venue, so I
Yeah.
think there's only 3,500 seats total. So I mean you'll be right there with him.
Absolutely.
In Fort Myers, it's $115 for the VIP. That VIP actually does include dinner and some drinks.
Cool.
And then the rest is $35, I
It's
believe,
all
is for
lawn-
all lawn
lawn
seats.
seating.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So bring your chair, come hang out
that's
there.
always a fun experience
Yeah.
too.
And most shows are 3,500 people, so it's going to be a very small, venue.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have some different things out there as far as monster trucks and different groups with their clubs promoting what they do.
And
so.
the venue,
Very
the ball.
cool.
Have you been to the ballpark? The new field,
Driven
the
by,
new
but I
one?
haven't been in, but it
It's
looks
a
beautiful.
very nice
It's
venue. It's
beautiful.
brand new. It's only been open a little over a year now.
Mm-hmm.
So
And the team, I don't watch baseball.
Yeah.
But the team that has the stadium won.
Yes.
So
The
for
Houston-
the
Yeah,
fans,
Houston Astros.
Houston
yeah.
Astros, yes.
I'm a
So
bitter
for the
Canadian,
fans-
guys. I don't really.
So for the fans, it's kind of neat because where the stage is going to be set up out on the field because they won and games are going on.
Yeah.
We couldn't put the stage on the field, so they put it all the way over to the sideline, so the crowd is going to be like right there with him.
That is
Yes.
so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So I actually
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
happened.
that's really neat.
it's a nice
Yeah.
venue.
That is so
Absolutely.
cool. And again, we live in an area with so many amazing things going on, so many opportunities, and it's great to see community coming together. It sounds like you've got great artists involved, some great, partners in this, and to bring the ballparks in. I mean, it's something that everybody can get around, right? Because I'm hard pressed to find someone or someone listening or watching it that's not connected to a veteran in some way. Right. If it's not I know I'm a granddaughter of, my maternal grandfather was in Patton's Third Army. My paternal grandfather was, a prisoner of war at Stalag Luft in the middle of World War II. I mean, I may not be in the service, but
Right.
the history from our family, I mean, I feel so rich to know that, and to be a part of connected to that in some way, that it's almost a duty, for me to honestly, I look at every time I meet a veteran in my work or see someone. I talk about this a lot on the show at, Dunkin' Donuts, proudly wearing their service hat to just express thanks and to support them in any way that's appropriate. That it had to hopefully be an easy sell to get people on board with this, and to I mean, obviously you're having entertainment that's going to be great and fun and should entice people anyways, but also to know that their ticket price is going to
It's a good
support
cause.
such a wonderful
Absolutely.
cause.
Right. Absolutely. Are you free December 16th? Will you come to the show? Do you know?
Jeffrey, come on.
Jeffrey.
I'm afraid. I want to say yes. I really want to say yes. I know it's like you said earlier, there's a million Christmas
Yeah.
parties.
Yes.
So here's
If
what we have
you
to do.
are, you guys could come, and then everybody could come meet you.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
She looks thrilled with that.
Thank you. Here's what we need to do. We need a strategy for like Christmas parties and this event. I think you go to
Yes.
the Christmas party early, right? You bring your dish to pass.
Yep.
You
yep.
say your hellos, and then you say, "Hey, party, come with me."
There you go.
I want to spend this time with you all. We only get together in the holidays. Don't want to be rude,
There you
right?
go.
But come on down. What time is the concert?
Gate
at?
opens at 6. Concert starts at 7.
Okay.
But Josh won't come on until 9.
Okay.
So,
see?
hey, you
There
can
you go.
definitely do it.
Tailgating.
Tailgating
opens
starts at 4
4.
on the parking
Yeah.
lot.
See,
Yep.
there's so many ways to work this in to
Yeah.
the busy
Yes,
schedule,
yes.
right? You can go early and go to. You can have the after party after.
Which we are having an after party also. Hasn't been determined where yet, but we will be having an after party.
Yeah.
Oh, you almost got a sneak peek.
So the whole night's
secret.
gonna be.
You really
Yeah.
do have a whole day. That is so awesome. All right, we're going to take another quick commercial break. When we come back, I know you wanted to talk about some of the services and just provide a little more education on that, and then we'll give another opportunity for where to find tickets. We'll be right back. The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, we use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com. Engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561-747-9944. Are you a music therapist or part of the music therapy community? If so, we're excited to announce Aria. Aria is a mobile app that provides tools, resources, and community for today's modern music therapist. You can plan, implement, and share music therapy interventions with the community, keep track of your schedule and contacts, and learn from other members in our community section. Best of all, Aria is free. Visit arianow.com to get started today. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. If you'd like to join the conversation, the toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are listening to and watching Connections. I am sitting here tonight with Christy Knight and Patrick Sander with the Veteran Benefits I've done so well all night.
You have?
Veteran Benefits America Foundation.
Perfect.
Been
There you
talking
go.
about the amazing services that you guys provide, why you're so passionate about this. If you've missed any portion of our conversation tonight, please check out our Facebook Live page at facebook.com/connections by Aria. Have the whole conversation archived there as well. You can go back and check out. If you are someone listening tonight who is a veteran, connected to service, served at least one day during an active war,
Right.
correct? Or a spouse, of which you don't want to miss any portion of this conversation. It's really valuable information that, like we said, we can't share it enough to get out
right.
there.
That's right.
So really quickly, before we get into diving in a little bit more about the services and also the event, your website that people can get in touch with you.
Is vetbenamerica.org is
Okay.
the website. And then we also have a Facebook page for Veteran Benefits America.
Okay,
So you can
great.
go either way.
Perfect. And you guys are you're so gracious to come and answer all these questions. We talked about how important it is to build up that relationship, especially when we're talking about seniors who are veterans. And so, I appreciate that you're both so knowledgeable about it. You're so connected. It's heart-centered work for you. It's volunteer work for you, which I truly believe in. That even beyond our occupation, sometimes it's amazing to see how people give of their time, which I know it's a labor of love, right?
Yep.
So appreciate what you do. If you want to talk just a little bit about education wise for people who might be starting to navigate this process.
Sure, that are, people to think about who they know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, that's the biggest issue. It's funny because we kind of go out and do some of the different fairs, and I'll just walk up to people and say, hey, do you happen to know a wartime veteran? And they'll go, no. Because they're automatically thinking of their mom or dad.
Yeah.
It's like, but what about grandparents, aunts, uncles, neighbors, anybody that you might know. So when you really start digging into it, you can almost find everybody knows like a widow who is living and maybe her husband was a veteran. Or, there's an old guy, maybe he was a veteran. And the thing is to ask them. Because again, they don't know about these benefits. Okay. And so the word of mouth is the biggest way to go through and get that out there.
But navigating the process is, there's certain criteria. There's paperwork that has to be, that you have to have. You have to have marriage certificates, discharge paperwork, which all of that we can help families get if they don't have it. It's not that difficult, but you don't know where to go to look for it.
And sometimes just starting that, looking at all the things you need, you're already kind of at that onset of stress. So I think having just a person there to kind of hold your hand and help you through it's so valuable.
One of the other things we find is as you're going through, if somebody comes up to you and says, we're willing to do this for you, but we're going to charge you. You want to have a second thought about it. You can't legally charge a veteran or his spouse. There's ways always of getting around it, doing it. But if that's their goal and their reason for doing it, you really want to think twice about using them, whether it's, you come to us or you find another resource. You just kind of want to think about it, make sure that what they're charging you for is more than just doing paperwork.
Right.
Because a lot of times they're doing, other planning and they're helping you do other things, which is, they deserve to be compensated for all that extra work. One of the other things that we've seen, which we feel you need to be really careful about, is, as we were talking during the break, about exploitation. If you're applying for this benefit, make sure that whoever is getting paid the benefit is going into your bank account for you to pay whoever you want to pay.
Absolutely.
Don't let it go to a community. Don't let it go to a care provider. It needs to be coming to you.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing. We've seen a little bit of a shift where it's not going to the veteran. And it's hard. It can be released, but it's just paperwork and delay. And you should be in control of your money.
Yeah.
Or your children should be in control of your money, helping you. Shouldn't be going to a community or another care provider to now decide, what's going to happen with it.
Absolutely. We're talking about a demographic, a population that they've lost so much of that control and choice making and independence, like we talked about. I like how you worded that they should be in control of those finances, or like you said, an appointed power of attorney or whatever that looks like. But it's worth mentioning. I mean, you want to sit here and believe, and we're talking about all these wonderful things and community building and these artists giving of their time, but it's a real issue. Senior exploitation, elder abuse is a real issue, particularly in our area. So I think it's good just to take a moment to be aware of that and know that there are people in the community who can, even if you're suspicious of it at all, maybe you just have a gut feeling, hey.
Usually follow your instinct.
Yeah, absolutely. There's people out in the community who can help you navigate that. And just take a look and say, hey, you're good to go. It's the first time looking at this, so you might not be sure, or we need to take a second look.
Second opinion, right?
And you can take the person's name who's talking to you. Also, there's a VA website that you can actually plug their name in and see if they are accredited with the VA.
Perfect.
Okay. If they're accredited with the VA, then you're probably good to go.
Yeah.
If they're not, you might want to go the other way. Okay?
Yeah.
It's like you could put my name in and see absolutely nothing, or you can put her name in and see that she is accredited. I just volunteer.
And again, I love that you have that passion for that. And if you want to just share really quick, I've just got a couple minutes left. Why is it so? You have your own job, right? We all work hard, and we have a million things going on. It's just kind of a PSA for volunteerism in general. What does that mean to you to carve out that time of your week to give back?
It just brings real joy to my heart when I guess the greatest thing I love to hear is when people say, I was praying last night and here you are. That's one of my greatest statements to hear. And I hear it a lot, actually, which is really neat. So I love giving back. I'm a protector. I love to be in that position. And when I have something that I know that other people may not, I love to just share it. So that's how we actually treat not only the foundation, but also our business is the same way. We're all about educating and teaching people things that they maybe did not know so that they can go through and have an easier time. That independence is huge for me because
Yep.
I want to keep my independence, and I know others want to keep theirs.
Absolutely.
So it's just a big blessing that we were shown this, and so we just feel it's our obligation to go through and show it to everybody else.
Well, and it's, I was brought up, my mom always taught me, it's like if you're fortunate in life of any degree, whatever you consider being fortunate, I mean, it's your obligation and it's your responsibility as a human being walking on this planet
Yeah.
to help and to give back.
And it's an honor to
You
do so
know, it's-
too.
yeah, in this case, it absolutely is an honor. But, it's still, whether you're doing, volunteering with the VA, with seniors, with animals, with kids, whatever it is, I mean, we have a responsibility to the community
Yeah.
and to the planet around us to help.
Yeah, and we
You
have
know?
met so many incredible people that I would never have met, that we would have never met any other way. I mean, it's just from huge executives to producers of movies and TV shows and famous people. It's
The
just
UPS guy.
yeah, and the UPS guy. It's
Yeah.
absolutely amazing the people that we have met through doing this over the years.
That's incredible.
And the friendships that have formed, and it's just been a great venture.
That's wonderful. We have survived the madness of Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, and tomorrow is Giving Tuesday. I hate that Giving Tuesday comes after all this stuff that you
Yes.
just spent on me. But tomorrow is Giving Tuesday. Okay, so this is my charge to everyone. If you can come to this concert, this is an amazing opportunity to celebrate that day, Giving Tuesday, be a part of that. What are some other ways, if they're not available or finances are not the way that they'd like to give, how can people get in touch with you just to be involved with you and help support this organization?
Just reach out through the website, through the Facebook, of course, is the easiest way to
Great.
reach out through anything. The website, we don't put a lot out because there's so much misinformation. People read it and interpret. So we do more talking.
Perfect.
And so the Facebook, I mean, it's the easiest way. Call the office, send an email.
All right, really quickly,
You
with
know?
one remaining minute, your office number?
561, did it go off? 561-841-6425.
25.
Perfect. Sorry, I put you on the spot there.
It's like, okay.
She was,
on-
she was
it's on-
thinking of the 800
Yeah,
number.
it's on speed dial.
Gotcha. Of course. Veteran Benefits America Foundation. You guys do amazing work.
Thank you.
Looking forward to an awesome concert. You can find out all that information on our Facebook page at facebook.com/connections by Aria. Christy and Patrick, thank you so much for joining me
See you
tonight.
there.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Have a wonderful week, everybody. We'll see you next Monday. Thank you for listening to Connections. We hope you enjoyed today's program and discover new ways to bring creativity into your home or place of work. If you have any questions for our host, Bree, or today's guest, please email them at bree@pbmti.com or call at 561-747-9944. Thank you for sharing the music with us.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.